do it.
All right, so we're back for another episode of the show. We got, as always, Gunny Matheson, Joe Schmidt, and when we were talking about a special guest, before we had Jason Van Landingham, we were talking about Trevor Brazil.
That's right.
Trevor, happy to have you here.
And she's gonna put like a some kind of
26-time world champion.
graphic that has all your accomplishments on it. It's not gonna fit in a little spot, but she's gonna try to make it.
Yeah.
26-time world champion. Yeah, impressive. And it took this long to get him because we took us this long to raise the money, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering what y'all were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
The salary has increased immensely over these 40 episodes that we've done.
Yeah, so we're going to do this one a little different. We usually, when we get a new guy, we come in here and we do the whole history from the start to the end. But, anybody can just Google Trevor Brazil and find all that stuff. And, all those other losers we've had in here, nobody knew who they were.
They didn't have a Wikipedia page or anything.
They didn't have a website. They
Yeah.
don't know their whole personal history. That must be frustrating. People don't know all about you.
You'll get better as we go.
No more swear words.
So anyway, tell us what you got going on now, Trevor. I know you bought a new stud.
Just basically unemployed, retired. Get to rope more now. Seems like everybody says, well, what do you do now that you're retired? I found out that I probably like horses more than I like people because I rope just as much. I'm with the horses, roping, training. Don't ever leave my house really unless I get called to do an amazing podcast or something like that. Yeah. I'm pretty much at a
He was a fan of the show.
Yeah, that's right.
After y'all finally answered my letters, I just thought, this is it.
Yeah, you made it.
Come out of my hiding at my house and get over here and really mix it up with the boys.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great.
So do you like right now you find yourself being able to do more horse training than when you were on the road?
No doubt. I mean, I've just got more time. I'm able to, if 90% of my barn was horses I was actively rodeoing on, 10% would have been horses coming along and in the program, say, but it would take so long because might ride them 2 weeks here and might turn them out for 2 months and still make good horses, but it was definitely more challenging than being able to be with them like daily and see the progression and see what can happen in 12 months of being home versus 12 months of being rodeoing and 2 months being home,
It's funny to me that you say that because me watching NFR for as many years as we've watched it, the one thing that I noticed about you roping is there is no BS with your animals. They are broke. Like, they walk in the box, they stand back, they're alert. You don't see him wrestling with his animals in the box, trying to get them ready, going around, trying to get it ready. Like, maybe you have, but I haven't seen it. Like, I would say a big testament to your success is how broke your horses were to perform. So to hear you say now you're training on them better is that's shocking to me. Your horses look broke. I mean,
it's good in one way and bad in another. That if my horsemanship is some light's being shed on a little part of my horsemanship, it gets taken away from. I may not have been as good a roper as I may just had better horses. That's what I'm hoping about happening. So let's keep that on the down low. Let's try to focus on me being a good roper.
Yeah, it's all about you. That's right.
Keep it all about me.
Yeah.
So okay, just speaking of that, what do you attribute most of your success to? Are you a better athlete?
Yeah.
Worked harder at it? What more consistent? What are the things? Because obviously there's a lot of guys going down the road and roping that are good athletes and in shape, and I mean that's one you could always tell that you were in shape and ready to go to the horse show, or the rodeo. But what do you attribute your success to?
It's funny you say that because I've been in meetings that were talking about like taking rodeo to the next level, and they're like, we got to take advantage of this because we've got something that other sports don't have. And I'm like, well, this is going to be good. And he's like, well, we obviously don't have a performance enhancing problem in our sport. You can tell by Trevor, you know. So working out was probably on the back burner a lot for me. My only physical attribute was probably quickness. That was probably the biggest skill set I brought to the table, other than roping but there's no close second to my horses. I mean, because in the events that I did, especially the tie down, the team roping, it was no different than a receiver and a quarterback, you know, running a route. That timing, practice was huge to me. My preparation was where I got confidence. Everybody talks about the mental game of rodeo. I really think if you're working hard enough, the mental game's not as big of an issue, because there's not as many things that your mind can play tricks on you at if you can look in the mirror and know that you've spent the time and you've done your part of the deal. But my horses.
That's why Tom struggles right before he shows. He's a mental nutcase most of the time.
Yeah, you come real unhinged.
Yeah, that's right. It's like here, and then it's here.
He does it. I just like jabbing him. I'm sorry. Okay, back to the.
But it is. I mean, it's not cliche. I really had confidence in my horses. I thought my horses were better. I thought if my horses weren't better, that we had definitely spent enough time to where our timing, there was no glitch or there was no guessing. He wouldn't guess what I was doing, and likewise. And so, luckily, in the events that I had to do, horses could make up for
The difference.
strength, for my physical build, and in the tie down roping especially, you line up. I've said it 1,000 times. I've just been super blessed. God's had His hand on me my whole career, because you can line up Fred Whitfield, Joe Beaver, Roy Cooper, Cody Ole. I mean, go down the list. I mean, they're big, they're strong,
Right.
And I mean, that'll just tell you, number one, how blessed I've been, and number two, what great partners I've had in my horses my whole career.
So do you think, and I personally think that a horseman and the amount of horsemen that you are makes a difference. Also, keeping those horses right. I mean, we all know from what we do that timing and how you get into one's face, how you get into one's belly, how you do what you do makes a big difference in how long that horse lasts. Do you think it's the same thing in the roping?
100%. I mean, it's not always about having the best horse all the time, because sometimes it's not possible. But I mean, I wanted to know whatever horse I was on would never compete at as high a level as he was when I was roping on him. Like, I wanted to make sure that I got the most from that horse, because scoring was a big deal in what we do. And I don't know how much of your viewers will know, scoring and roping, you got to give a head start. So the box is crucial, that they are at attention and that they're on a hair trigger. And I think that's different than any other discipline that I'm aware of, because everybody else has them backed off the bridle, doesn't want them in the bridle. I mean, in that part of what we do, there has to be 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake at all times. And that's a huge trust, because a lot of times you give a horse enough freedom with that gas pedal and they're going to be going through the brake. And so that's a constant thing you got to be managing.
Just even talking about that, like, our horses are patterned, so anticipation kills us. A lot of our events are lost with the horse trying to do the job for us.
Mm-hmm.
How did you with your animals find that razor's edge? How did you prepare your horse? How did you train your horse to be that good, that focused, but not cheat you? Did you have anything, or was it just reps?
I really think it sounds crazy and it sounds really elementary, but the best thing that I feel like that I did for my horses was ride worse at home than I did at the rodeo. Everybody else was always the opposite. They were perfect at home and imperfect at the rodeo. And that's easily done, because, I mean, there's things out of your control and a lot of things like that. But But really, I mean, like, you can't baby a horse to where, I mean, like, I'm going to rely on his instincts as much as my own. And, you know, I'm going to take out that anticipation at home. I'm going to do the little drills it takes, but I'm going to show him what he's going to get exposed to at the rodeo, where a lot of people don't. They don't
Protect
show
him.
him what they are going to do and then correct them. I tried to bring out some mistakes in me, my horses, just so we can say, hey, when this happens, this is not, don't throw out the playbook and do on your own deal. This is when I need help, you know.
Do you think that you put more pressure on those animals at home than you did on the road?
I just
Like in preparation is what I mean.
I mean, I did ask a lot of my horses. I mean, but also I knew how important they were. I had to keep them sound.
Yeah.
Because we all know what horses cost. I mean, so that's such a fine line to be prepared, but for them to be 100% mentally and physically when they show up somewhere. Because if you're nursing, you know, an injury, you're never going to get the best out of your horse. So that's a balance that you learn throughout your whole career. How much is enough and how much is crossing that line, because at some point you got to go with what you got, and some things can't be addressed all the time. Like now I'm going to rope horse futurities, and so like I want, like when I practice, it's a lot easier now because I'm like, I don't have to have perfection today. I have to have perfection October whatever date,
Right.
21st.
Months from now.
You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes that peak too early is such a detriment, you know, too. You know, you want to be building that foundation and just have that constant. And I'll put pressure even on the young horses just so I know how long of a ride it takes to manage this. Once we bring our pressure level here, how is it going to take me a week? Is it going to and every horse is different. So I'll probably mix in a lot more stress than a lot of people, but I think I'm really building them to manage it, and so that it doesn't blow their skirt up.
Yeah. Just getting
And
ready
it's
for
not-
real life.
Yeah, it's not different. It's really
No, it's
not
the same
different
thing.
That's why I was
than what we
asking
do.
how
Yeah,
he
it's
trains.
the same deal.
I'm asking you those questions for me, not
Yeah.
for the camera.
Yeah.
Just-
And
Trying to
your horses,
understand.
every time, your horses are always fat and slick, and I mean, your horses always look good too. Like Gunny said, they're broke, but they always look good too. And you were talking about, you know, scoring and all that. Just
Yeah.
so you know, you're talking, I'm one of your people. I'm gonna tell you my calf roping story.
There you
okay?
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that, we'll tell you some of his cow horses story.
Yeah, that's right.
He owned 4 cows at one point in time and only returned 1.
Yeah, I'm not the best caretaker, but anyway. So when I was a freshman in high school, I qualified for the national finals high school rodeo, and they also at that point in time had the a thing they called the Nestea challenge. So
Nestea iced tea?
yeah,
Oh.
Nestea iced tea. I don't know I didn't win, so I don't know if you want a lifetime supply or any. You don't see any Nestea around here. I
No
wasn't the
shirts.
winner, but so I had to. You ever go to Spooner, Wisconsin?
I've never been there.
So that's a big rodeo, though. A lot of guys-
Big road. Big road.
It's
Big road.
It's one of the top
Nobody has
12.
ever been to Spooner.
Everybody's been to
You
Spooner.
tried to declare that it was in Wisconsin. He had no idea.
No, I've
That's
heard
right.
of it. I've heard of it. In his defense,
Yeah,
I've heard
he's
of it.
heard it. Yeah.
So
It's
anyway,
a touch off the
Big
beaten path, but I have
rodeo.
heard of
And
it.
not to get off the beaten path again, but we have Trevor Brazil here. We're talking about Tom. Oh
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
right.
here.
Yeah.
He knows he's with his people.
Yeah.
so I qualify. I'm a freshman. I qualify against Boyd Paul Holmes. He's a senior. You know Boyd.
Oh yeah.
So he's an announcer or something now, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of years.
Very good one.
Yeah, pretty good.
That
Yeah.
was for us when you're at the NRBC.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to know if he knew him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Been an announcer, a general manager, everything at the National Finals Rodeo for the last 20 years. Sorry, Boyd.
So he's been around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you roped against Tom McCutcheon.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Gotcha.
anyway, Boyd ropes first, and he goes out there and everybody's there. Well, you weren't, but you were too young then. So Boyd ropes first, and he runs his calf about halfway down the arena, and I think he ropes him in about 15. Big calves. He roped him long, and he took him a little while. They're big calves. He had a little trouble. So I back in the box, and Jimmy Cooper's.
Story right here.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Cooper's sitting there, Roy wasn't there, but Jimmy was there. My brother used to haul with Butch Myers, so Butch was sitting there just because he was being supportive, and a bunch of the guys. And I thought, okay, 15, I got a little room, right? And I nod my head, and I come out, and I rope this calf like right away. I roped him as quick as any of them. I mean, I roped him quick, but it's my brother's PRCA horse, and I'm used to my high school rodeo horse. And that's so much. His name was, I think his name was Twister. And that day he'd already bit me twice and cow kicked me once. And he was a rotten son of a bitch. So I reach out and rope that calf. Well, you know, as soon as I'm right here, not so much as already stopping. And he yard darts me right there, but I catch him fast and I get up, and that calf runs me over this way and runs me over that way and drags me around. I got him tied in about 47. And I was dirt and mud, and he knocked the wind out of me when I fell off, and the whole 9 yards. And I come back, and I think it was Jimmy Cooper said, "Son, you roped him fast, but after that, it got a little tough."
It was a little touch and go after that.
Yeah. So that's my story. That was my one claim to fame right there. And after that, I decided
National High School final.
It's done.
No, this was at Spooner.
Oh,
This was
in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
This
This was
Spooner.
not at the
This
final.
wasn't
This
the
was the
qualifier.
Nest.
Qualified.
No, I already qualified. This was the Nesty Challenge.
Oh,
it was
okay,
a special,
okay.
You already
like a
qualified?
lifetime of
For
Nesty.
the upper tier.
Yeah.
Of the national high school.
Did you already
That's right.
qualify for the district tournament or
No.
the state
No.
tournament? The area tournament?
No. The first and second place guy in the state of Wisconsin, not Oklahoma or Texas. I get that, but
Yeah.
it was the first and second place in Wisconsin qualified, and then you went on and the winner went on to face somebody in another state or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I didn't win. It was one
With the
hit.
47.
One hit, he beat me by about 30 seconds.
Green all stopped right there.
Just done.
Yeah.
Now, do you still drink iced tea, Nestea iced tea, or is that?
Well, it's a little, I have
Touchy.
yeah, it is. It is.
That's right.
It gets a little grainy.
Yeah,
There's
can-
swallows there.
Yeah, can I get some iced tea, ma'am?
Some
What do you
bad
have?
memories there. But I remember backing
Nestea,
into
no.
that box, I was so freaking nervous because, like I said, it was Jimmy Cooper,
Yeah.
Butch Myers, all apparently not, Trevor Brazil, but all the other big guys were there. And,
Nice.
As soon as I threw
saw
that
the
baby, I knew I was going to beat that.
You saw the
15
finish line.
I'm so jealous because you've actually reached a level in your calf roping that I never
That he's never been.
Not just the ST challenge, but
Yeah.
I never made it to nationals in high school in the tie down roping.
You never did?
I made it to nationals in the team roping. I made it to nationals in the cutting, and never in the tie down roping.
Well, in Wisconsin, all you had to do is catch all your calves. It wasn't that hard.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're. a
That's
beast.
pretty good,
I
man.
made it.
You're a beast. He called you a beast, bro.
Yeah, I made it in the cut and the bulldog and in the calf roping.
That's
And
awesome.
pretty
Nice.
much all you had to do is just get a time in both of those timed events.
That's
I'll check
awesome.
with Boyd Bohemus and
Yeah,
make sure all
ask
the
him
That's
about
good.
Oh yeah,
Well, I'm sure you remember.
they will.
Yeah.
They'll remember.
They will. He kicked my ass.
He was the laughing stock.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
wanted to beat him so bad too because he was a senior and he was kind of a good-looking guy and kind of arrogant, and I just wanted
Obviously, he
to beat
had
him
a
so
real
bad.
deep voice, sexy voice.
Oh yeah,
Really
yeah.
push out.
I didn't seem sexy to me.
Yeah, I want to be clear there. Yeah, whoa. I mean,
if it did,
it's fine. Yeah.
Boys.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Boys.
Not a problem.
Yeah, you dial, old
That's
boy,
funny.
when we're done with this, and
We
he'll
have to
tell
do
you he
that.
beat me by 32 seconds.
Once again,
That's
like,
good.
she just marked off 10 minutes at Tom McCutcheon time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's what happens.
That's the
No, but that
You
was.
got to give the people what they want. How
Yeah.
yeah. Tell me about his tie down rope?
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're all good.
Yeah, making those connections, man. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, dude, I get it.
One of my favorite stories was you in Catawba, Texas, too. That was-
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
good too. You'll have to listen to that one. That one's good.
yeah,
We'll
that's
tell you.
another
We'll tell you
Yeah.
on there.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
So, okay, going back to
We lost
Keep-
our momentum.
No.
No, there was some it's still
I
good.
haven't lost any momentum.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Full steam ahead.
Yeah.
So going back, when you're going down the road, do you have to go home and school your horses, or can you keep them right on the road?
It kind of just depends. I mean, there's certain horses that are easier. There's certain horses that, once they get trained, it's better to leave them be.
But do you have like schooling runs at Ropens, like to where you
NFR.
score?
Do you have is there a practice pen at the
Yeah,
NFR?
yeah.
100%. No, I always, whether it was me or my horse, there'd be appearances that started at 8 in the morning, do autographs till about noon, and from noon to 2 every day was lunch if possible, but I was gonna go practice somewhere. Maybe not on my rodeo horses, but I had to kind of just disconnect from all the other stuff that goes along with the NFR and everything like that, and get back to being a cowboy just for a minute before we go back to the hotel, shower, get ready to go into town. So, but without, whether it was my horse or not, I had to do it just for the mental part of it, just to know that I feel like I'm putting in time, even when we're at, the National Finals Rodeo, even when the hard work's already done, I still want to feel like nobody's outworking me.
Yeah.
They may beat me. They may beat me every night, but they're not going to say they outwork me.
Right. Well, I think it's the same thing in in our
deal,
business,
for
in
sure.
the cutting horse. But I mean, the hardest workers, have the best luck, right?
Yeah. Now you showed cutting when you were in high school. Did you do like more riding when you first started, or were you always roping and like where did you learn that the horsemanship part was
I
important?
mean, everything's relative. I mean, like I go ride reining horses with you guys. You're like, I thought this guy had horsemanship. I mean, like every discipline is different, and some of them obviously don't cross over. But like the cutting, I was low budget roper cutting, and so I would jump on somebody's turnback horse, which happened to be Punk Carter at the time.
Yeah.
In our region, and he would let me ride his turnback horse when he got done helping his guys, and made it to state. And then when I was at state, I was really going over there to just take my name off the list, basically, because it was an accident. I didn't have a horse, and so I'm walking up there, and I remember Don Boone says, "Hey, you should go, Kobe Woods over there. You should go over there and just see if he's got anything." And turns out the horse he was turned back on, his wife had showed, and he let me ride his turnback horse, and we made it to nationals. But oddly enough, that year was the only thing I made it to nationals in, so I didn't ever go
So
up
you
there.
were
I
a bit of a-
wasn't going to try my luck to go all the way to Gillette, Wyoming without a cutting horse. And
You're
see
a
what
bit of a
happened up
late
there.
bloomer, then you're saying.
Not in cutting.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah, that's right.
Just all the maintenance.
That's right. All the other stuff.
That's funny. In Texas, you don't make it in the roping events, but you make it
Make it in the cutting.
in Texas. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
that's awesome. How many people do you think Punk Carter has helped get into the cutting over the years?
No, I don't know.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
He was so gracious to help me. I filmed an episode of, you guys are old enough to know Dallas, the TV show.
Yeah.
I was the kid. Y'all listen close, because you're gonna once you realize how famous I am. I was the kid. I think I was Bobby Ewing's son. The helicopter's chasing him obviously the bad guys, and there's these bullets go off. He's on a horse. The horse rears up and falls off.
That was you.
That's me.
No kidding. How old were you then?
That's cool.
I think I was 12 or 13.
No kidding.
That's
Before
cool.
my cutting career ever took off.
Yeah, because the Dallas house is down in Dallas, isn't it? I mean, the house that they used in it.
Isn't it down in like Plano?
Yeah, or somewhere.
Yeah, I would assume the Dallas
Well,
house would
I'm
be
just
somewhere
a
in the
The,
Dallas area.
the house they used in Dallas.
You can
I don't think it was
you
in-
can find his name in the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say the driveway in the place is like super small.
Huh.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, we're gonna have to Google that. That's
So
pretty
how'd you
good.
get set up with that?
Yeah.
Jimmy Smith, Punk Carter. Jimmy Smith was Denton, Texas. He was a stock contractor for a lot,
Yeah.
and I don't know how him and Punk, I mean, obviously in the same area, but he was the reason that I got to go to the Lazy for the Town Event Championships of the World when I was 18 years old. I was in college in a walking boot because I had a horse fall on me, and he called me and said, "Hey, if I get you in the timed event, can you go?" And I'm in a walking boot, and I was like,
Sure.
February, March. Yeah, put me down. And so I got my walking boot off 2 weeks before that thing started and bulldogging is definitely not my strong suit anyway, if you've watched any of the timed event videos, but I wasn't gonna, I mean, you can't get into that place. So it was, you just had to take that chance. And so I've had I grew up in Crum, Texas, and so I had a lot of, you know, Crum Denton connections that helped me through, you know, getting my start.
That's pretty cool.
And how'd you do?
That's way cool.
I won second.
No kidding.
1 second. So they basically, if you finish, you know, top 10, they'll give you a chance, especially if you fill in and have late notice like I did. And so I won second that year, and I got to come back, and I've went a lot ever since then. So.
That's pretty
Did
cool.
you ever ride any rough stuff?
No, in college, I was so proud of myself because one bronc rider got a little bit down on his confidence and was quitting. And so I bought his saddle, and I went ahead and talked to Billy Etbauer. They were having a school where they ride milk cows. I mean, how dangerous could that be? Milk cows. I mean, I'm not going to be taken out by milk dud. That's what I tell them. And I get everything set up, and I call my dad, and he's like, no. I'm like, I'm in college. And he's like, I don't care. He's like, we work too hard. You do too much stuff anyway, and especially too much to start now with a new thing. So, no. So,
Good advice.
being the rebellious spirit that I was in college, I sold my saddle and did exactly what he said.
Yeah. Good.
That's awesome.
That was good advice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hindsight it was, but I mean, there's just something that, like, cowboy in you that
Yeah.
I want to ride bucking horses. You know what I mean? That's just part of it. I was tripping steers.
No,
I wanted to ride bucking.
Yeah.
No,
never,
I don't know.
never had that either.
never
No.
crossed my
Yeah.
mind.
But watching Billy Etbauer, I mean, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I could
had
see
to-
doing that.
My dad made me ride bulls when I was younger, but you know, I never had any of the other skills that you had. So it was pretty much. I mean, I did qualify for the national finals
Yeah.
in high school, you know, but
We've covered that.
yeah, and might again depending
Yeah.
on how
Yeah.
you're here.
Yeah.
That's right. If you want to hear it again, if you want to hear that story.
That was just his freshman year.
That's right.
That was my only
right.
year.
Oh.
I dropped the mic right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought I saw a picture. I didn't do really any research, but I did Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia. Yeah. So you did 26. But you know, I was looking through your list of Hall of Fame things. You're in the Trail Hall of Fame. Did you know that?
The Trail Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Hall of
Sure.
Fame of Trail.
Like what kind of trail? Like,
Did you?
It's
are
like
you
Rodeo Trail?
like the AQHA trails
Rodeo?
or
No, it said
PRCA
Trail. Like the Hall of Fame. Like.
Did you
trail
read it
track.
correctly? Because that doesn't sound right.
No, that doesn't sound right at all.
I'm
Like,
telling you, I saw it.
I've already told you
Yeah, but Wikipedia.
I'm a cutter. I mean, you don't know. I'm a show
You
trail.
weren't in the cutting Hall of Fame.
No.
Yeah, that didn't show
I
up.
remember that.
No.
Yeah.
You don't even know you're in the Hall of Fame of Trail, do you?
Are you sure it's like not the
Not like the association called TRA.
Yeah. Team Ropers.
Are you thinking it's the trail they do in Fort Worth with the tiles and on the street? Maybe that's some kind of trail they call that, isn't it?
Maybe.
There you go.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you ever do that? Did you ever lay trails?
No.
No, didn't do that.
Yeah.
No.
I think Chelsea's trying to look it up right now to
No.
see if
2012 Texas Trail
Texas
Fame.
Texas Trail.
Texas Trail of Fame.
What's the difference?
Yeah, that's like a Trail of Fame.
Like
It's
I've
kinda
got,
what he's
I've got
saying.
my own bronze
Like-
thing there
Yeah,
in
dude,
front of
it's
the
got-
stockyard.
Yeah, see, it's like
Texas
Walk of
Trail.
Fame. You
It's
know,
just like Hollywood, but different.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but
not
way
quite. Let's
Yeah,
be
it's
clear.
different.
It's
No,
not
wait,
the
wait
same.
a minute. Stop, you guys. Stop. Listen. This is an astonishing moment in my life. We have actually caught it on camera. Tom McCutcheon being dumb. So great.
That's awesome.
Wait a minute. I've been waiting years for this.
That's
I
awesome.
thought it
Trail.
was in the Texas Trail Hall of Fame. Am I wrong?
That's not what it says.
What's it say?
It says
I trail ride for stress
says-
relief. Stress relief.
Texas Trail of Fame.
Trail of
You
Fame.
said he was in the
Hall of Fame of Trail, dude. A little different.
It is a little. it's a little different.
Yeah. No, the Dallas house is not in Dallas
But
either.
You're not seeing how I could make that mistake.
I think you read it quick.
Tom
Yeah.
McCutcheon is notorious
Oh.
for asking questions that set you up to make you look dumb.
Mhm.
And I call it being McCutcheon, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
He's just
McCutcheon himself.
This is so cool.
That was good.
I can't read
Trail.
our board, but I don't know how much time we got left, but I'm not saying nothing.
You don't have to. You don't have to. We're friends.
All right. Well,
I'll keep
anyway.
going. He'll edit it out.
Yeah.
He pays her. He pays me. I mean, he'll edit it out if
He obviously
We
pays
never
me.
paid you a
edited
bunch.
Yeah, a bunch.
No, we never edited anything because anybody can look it up for themselves. It says it's in Texas Trail Hall of Fame.
Texas
I'm gonna leave it
Trail.
at that.
I'll make sure to put a
Yeah.
Yeah.
explanation.
Well, that makes more sense because it wasn't making sense to me.
Yeah.
It was new. It was new to me too.
Yeah, I was thinking, holy cow, they just throw this guy in every Hall of Fame.
He's good at
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you gotta go
Yeah,
through a
trail.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an exciting sport. Trail to
Hey, let's just throw
Steer
Trevor's
tripping.
name on here. It'll make us, look good.
yeah.
Let's
Nice.
change something.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
talk about. Can we talk? It might be a touchy subject. You might not want to talk about it, but money. Let's talk about your sponsors. As far as I knew it, you were like one of the first people to change the game on sponsorships on shirts. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, and I don't know if you have a manager that handled that. And I don't know details, but probably got some pretty good money for your sponsors on your shirts.
I tell you, it was one of those deals that I handled by myself for a long time, and as nice as you try to be, and there's just not a good way for a cowboy to go in and negotiate deals.
So you
And
hired
says,
somebody to do it, or
I'm worth this. No, you're not. I mean, like, number one, I would have got my feelings hurt at every meeting I went to, number one, and I was like, I don't want to do business with them, but somebody else handled that and got my feelings hurt that I had no idea about. So that was better left undone for me because it didn't tarnish relationships just because of a heated trade agreement. You know what I mean?
well, I guess a better question would be: do you think you were responsible for changing the game
No.
for the dollar amount on sponsorships, or was it just that time in rodeo's life when they started?
I think Tom Murray changed the game for
Yeah,
us.
I read that Ty was the first one to get
Ty.
an agent.
Tom Murray, we had the same agent.
Okay.
Tom Murray changed the game, in my opinion. I read his book. If you haven't read his book, I mean, it says right there. We'll just call him Apparel Company X, came to him and said, hey, we'll give you this. And he goes, well, I want this. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because it's been a long time since I've read the book. But, man, Tom Murray is my hero, so, like, this is how you do it. And so they come back the next year, says, hey, we'll give you this. He said, now it's this, And the third year, it's like they came around to his way of thinking because, I mean, he kept doing his deal, which is kicking everybody's butt. And, when you want to be known as that kind of product, I mean, like you weren't in rodeo without being associated with him and be a legitimate, say you had the best in the world without having Ty Murray back then. I mean, you didn't. To me, he was a game changer, even though we worked different ends of the arena. And when I won my world championship, he came to me and he said, hey, you got a lot on your shoulders now. I tried my best. You do your best for the guys behind you, but pave that way so that they're not putting patches on their shirt for free boots. So, I mean, we're better. We're better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like follow this.
Yeah. So he helped you out.
He did, and he was the first guy.
And he hooked you up with the agent, I guess. Or
No. After I won my first world championship, I had several agents contact me. I've told this story for I don't know how many times, and man, I just got sick of, like, they would call and we'd talk and we'd shoot the breeze, and
good catch.
they would say,
Good catch.
all right, we'd love to do some business. I'll just get you contract over that is an exclusive contract with me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, well, let me do some thinking on it. Next guy I call, think it's going really good. And then, let me just get you this exclusive contract. And I was just like, I just didn't have a good feeling about it in my gut. And there was probably 5 or 6 guys called, and it was always the same spiel before I hung up the phone. And I never felt good enough about it to do it. And so not long after that, we go to the world champion banquet, and my agent, Tony Garitano, was married to Charmaine James. And she had won her last world championship when I won my first. And we're mingling, basically the same setup y'all have in there for hors d'oeuvres before the podcast. And he says,
Which is a big deal.
it's a big deal. Best mushrooms ever.
Yeah, that's right. Even if you don't like mushrooms.
He had said, Ty's retired. I'd like to do, represent you in not so many words. And I said, let me guess, as soon as we get that exclusive contract signed. And because at this point, I'm
done. You're just done.
About it.
Over the
I'm going to the end of the conversation,
Yeah.
past the honeymoon. Here we go. Let's see it. And he's like, no. He goes, if I'm not making you any money, you're not making me any money. If you don't like the color of my hair, this is word for word. He goes, you can fire me at any time. And I said, you're my man.
Yeah.
And we've had a handshake deal for 2002 till now. He's still my
That's
man.
cool.
So.
That's big time. That's cool.
And the timing was great too, because Ty, the rodeo world needed another guy like that, a dominant. Ty was kind of at the end of his deal, and then you came in, and I would think the timing was great for that. Huh?
But Ty, though, I mean, you couldn't
He
get a better competitor. He changed the game as far as that goes, and then he's gracious throughout everything he's ever done. When I passed his record, he was the first one to be there to congratulate me. I mean, he's a classy guy.
Yeah.
We'll have to get him on the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
I told you.
if we can get the king of the cowboys, that's right. I mean, that
No,
would be easy,
absolutely. He
That's
just
I bet we
called.
know a guy now
Yeah.
that'll help us get the guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's gonna go home and say the mushrooms are awful. Don't eat the mushrooms.
Yeah.
They make you say crazy things.
Right? Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it always rodeo?
Crum, Texas, we played basketball.
Yeah,
We didn't even have a football team. Only 2A
Crum was good too, weren't they?
Only 2A city in Texas that didn't play football, I think, because they were just a basketball school. That's all they did.
Yeah. But they had a good. Crum
Yes,
had a good
I played with some really good guys that went on to Tech and.
I'm telling you what, the best basketball player you ever met sitting at this table. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the legend of Tom McCutcheon.
Yeah.
I mean it.
Hey, let's not make it about me.
That's right. I was just setting you up. I was teeing it up for you to see if you wanted to.
Yeah. And so, you married Roy Cooper's daughter, and you've got 3 kids.
3 kids.
And the oldest one, I think I saw a little clip of him running around with a rope. He ropes and stuff right now.
Yeah, he's 13 now.
Has both of his thumbs too.
Yes, he does.
Loving it.
He just loves everything at 13, I think. Playing football right now, doing some high school rodeoing. We'll be playing basketball. We'll just go to the next thing, It just never stops. And my girl in the middle, she has 0 to do with horses, unless we're, doing the Trail Hall of Fame in the pasture or something.
Working on it.
She loves to just go, ride, but it doesn't have anything to do with the arena.
Well, big
And-
advantage to have a dad that's in the trail.
In the
Hall of
trail.
Fame.
Where else do you go to for guidance?
Exactly.
Guidance.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I've got a 6-year-old, just turned 6, and she loves her pony 3 days in a row, and then we might go 30 days without seeing it, and we'll love it again. So the pony enjoys the time off, I think.
Yeah. And you think your son wants to follow in your footsteps?
I don't know. I always tell people I just want to bring them up
Yeah.
in the cowboy. Like I want them to say yes, ma'am, No, ma'am. I just want them to know, you know, I'm not just down there every day. You're talking about walking through the barn every night. You know, you miss that not being where you are. I do that, you know, part of being a cowboy, taking care of horses. I mean, just knowing what we do is not just the glamorous part. I mean, we don't just show up at the NFR. It's you take care of the people and the animals that get you there. And just, I haven't, I'm sure there is. I'm not saying bad about any other way of living, but the Western industry and the cowboy way of life is the manners that I want my kids to be brought up in, and that's the main thing I want. If I force anything on them, it's being around those kind of people, because when they figure out the value of that, they'll still know those kind of people, and they'll realize how important they were in their, you know, development.
Yeah, the work
Yeah.
ethic and the responsibility.
for sure.
And, yeah, and I mean, it's got to be, you know, I would think your boy would want to do that. I mean, you never know. I mean, my Cade wanted to from the time he was 5. That's
Yeah.
all he wanted to do. And you know, your son at that age, sure he looks up to dad, but that's some big shoes to fill. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, I think right now, the horse business is so good. Who knows what it's going to be like in 10 or 15 years? But if his son wants to be a roper, he doesn't have to be Trevor Brazil to make a lot of money in the horse business.
True.
I mean, horses are
Yeah,
a good
100%.
business right now.
Yeah, and the main thing is he's doing what he wants, and,
Yeah.
and I mean, I was real careful with my kids, you know, let them do whatever they want, and then I didn't set the bar so high myself that they couldn't get over it. See, you kind of screwed that up.
Well, that is hard as a parent, though, because when he started carrying a rope around, he was on a horse, he was all about it till he was 7 years old, till pee-wee football, till basketball, till all that started, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what happened to all this stuff? But I always said, my passion doesn't have to be his passion,
Right.
you know. And so I know enough about my sport. It better be your passion.
Yep.
And it's probably that way in anything. 1% of the people that do anything, yeah, football's great, but I mean, you do the math. I bet it's 1% of that too. You know, if that,
Yeah.
you know.
1%
And
of
so
1%.
you better. I don't think you can will somebody into 1%. I think it has to be their passion, and so I'm in no way, shape, or form going to force my passion on him, because I did my piece and I had a great support group doing it. I want to be that kind of support group and whatever all my kids' passions are, you know, because it takes it. And I mean, like I say, there's no easy way to make a living. I mean, you've got to love it. I mean, that's how I knew that I knew this was my passion. When I'm retired, I'm done. I could ride off in the sunset, and I ride circles in the arena every day. I mean, like, I'm on 10 or 12 horses every day because I love it. And I never really knew if competing was my passion. I just assumed that I was just a competitive person. Hell, my wife's more competitive than I am when you get right down to it, I think. I just loved what I did, and I was so in love with the process of getting me and my horses better that I just was a little better at times. There wasn't time, you know, it wasn't about the competition, because I could care less. Like, people said, does it drive you crazy to sit there and watch it? I said, I can watch the national finals and enjoy it. And I never want to crawl down there. I never do. I've watched it for my last time out there was 18. So I've got to watch it twice. And they're like, don't you want to just go? I mean, like, who wouldn't want to just jump down there on the horse and try it? But not me, because I know what it takes. They're like, why don't you enter Cheyenne? Because it would take me 2 months to get ready to think I was ready for Cheyenne. And if I was going to do that, then I don't want to just go to Cheyenne. I want to, like, I put this much work, you know. And so I just never been the guy just to play the game. And so entering does me no good. And
Well, you talked about doing roping fraternities now. Is that on a different level then, or is that just you doing rope fraternities for your satisfaction?
it's completely different for me because it's about the horse, And so now, like,
So
I
if you
still
do well,
get-
you do well. But if you gain on your horse, you feel like you're achieving what you want to in here.
yeah, I still get nervous,
Yeah.
I have guys call me and they're like, I feel like I'm practicing. I just want to get rid of the nerves. How do you get rid of the nerves? I said, you don't get rid of the nerves. I said, I always said if I wasn't nervous, I would probably have to quit because what else? Those nerves are what either push you here or drop you here. You have to make that decision if you're this person or if you're this person. If you bridle it or it bridles you.
Yep.
And so, but yeah, no, I still get that rush. I'm nervous as, hell every time before I compete. People that don't want that probably just don't need to be in competition because they haven't learned to make it their friend.
And you're not that nervous, and you're that nervous, and that those rope horse fraternities, there's probably 50 people there watching you, and not 20,000. And you still get nervous.
And that's another reason why I can watch without going down there is because y'all don't realize how easy fans have it, other than moms and wives and all that. Because, you get to enjoy the rodeo. I can't tell you, I had 20-something years down there just, in knots. But, I was blessed to be able to do it. But, it all comes with a price. There's severe stress. And, then you would think, well, you go to Hill City, Kansas, or I'm just trying to think of a
Spooner.
Spooner.
Same size.
And you think, I'm going to ride a young horse. This horse has been doing a little something. I'm just going to take the day off and go fix this problem at Spooner.
Yeah.
You go do your deal. You don't win anything. You look like Tom McCutcheon and you got 8 up, or you're 47.
You're all dirty.
Yeah.
47.
And this little boy brings his family back there. That's 15 people, and they're like, we have saved up. We came to watch you at Spooner. We are so excited. We're sorry you had a bad day, because it's the only time we've ever got to see you in person.
And they don't care you had a bad day. Only you care you had
No,
a
I
bad
know,
day.
but it's like that you weren't trying to win Spooner, because you had a bigger goal in this rodeo, and it was just a vehicle to get you there, and you had to get everything right, or you wanted to season this horse to see if he was ready to take that test. And I'm just once you get those kind of interactions, the more you win, you can never take days off.
Right.
There's always somebody watching you.
Yeah,
The more you win, the more pressure that's on you. They can care.
We wouldn't know that.
Yeah, right. It was like that for me.
It makes sense.
I don't.
Concept.
And I would like
I read
to.
that
Let's
in
move
Tiger
on.
Woods' book too, but we wouldn't know that.
I've never talked to anybody about that, but I would underdogs. When you're starting out, you don't realize that's it. That was the easiest time in my life.
Yeah,
I'm trying
ignorance
to
is
knock
bliss.
somebody off their pedestal, and then once you win it, and then it feels like it's yours to lose. It's like you're protecting. You're having to get everybody off instead of trying to get somebody. And it's just it can get way overwhelming as far as pressure goes.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. And when you talk about, because we have people for sure that follow us and whatever, but not like you guys do.
Yeah.
That's so much bigger deal. When you go to the finals, it doesn't matter if you're down there or up in the stands. I'm quite sure people are still out wanting their picture with you and wanting to get an autograph, because what you've done is above and beyond. Not every guy that's been in the finals is going to be like that, but you are, the Michael Jordan, the Tiger Woods, the whatever of that sport, right? Not to say that, there's not others, Roy Cooper, Ty Murray, there's others, but you're in the elite group. And I imagine that does carry an extra pressure, but also it's got to be fun too, huh?
It's awesome going
Yeah.
to the meet and greets now, because I don't have to go practice. I don't have to go do that. Let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah. Tell me that story.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because you're not
Yeah.
thinking about, oh, I got to rope and I got to
No.
practice. And,
No.
Yeah, gotcha.
No, it's awesome.
So now when you were getting, when you were working on your rope and as far as like working on the dummy or your practice sessions, what was a typical way to prepare? Like, did you try to rope the dummy 100 times in a row? Like, what was the best thing that?
You know what?
It's
That's
not
right.
open in Japan. It has his world, I bet.
That's right.
I roped. It's the same thing, like, because I see people saying, "Hey, get back out there. Have you roped your dummy 100 times or whatever?" And with me, my dad always said, when I would call you, you would cry. You roped until we made you come in. It wasn't like, go do this, go do that. It was, nobody ever wanted it more than me, especially in my family. I mean, it could be, you tell me, straighten up or you're not going to the barn tomorrow. That was enough for me. Because that's just how bad I wanted it.
Me and Joe judged a rope on one time.
Yep.
That's right.
Japan.
We went to Japan and we got the word last minute. Oh, by the way, you're probably going to judge a roping too.
Team roping.
He's freaking out. I'm freaking out. We call CJ Murphy. CJ, how do you judge roping? Well, he explains this. And this is quarter horse roping. It's not timed, right?
Yep.
It's how your horse enters the box, how he rates the cow, how he stops, faces the cow, all that stuff. So we get there. I mean, after they lose my luggage and I have to buy 6X clothes because they don't have manly sized men. Beside the point.
Yeah.
We get to Japan. We're going to judge this rope. We got our rules down, okay? And for the amateur, these guys are roping a dummy with a line drawn in the sand.
And you were worried about judging.
And
Oh,
we
yeah.
were worried about judging.
And we were ready too.
That's awesome.
And we were ready. And for the pros, they got on a plastic horse.
Yep.
Roped a plastic cow.
And it was the most professional dummy roping I've ever seen.
It was
These
big
guys
time.
were ready.
Oh yeah.
Like
They
they're
were ready.
standing
I can imagine.
there,
Yeah.
ready.
They
Yeah.
gave a trophy and a
Oh,
gold
yeah.
buckle
It was a big
Dang.
deal.
in Japan.
There's easier ways to get a gold buckle, you're telling me.
No. I mean, the flight sucked. It was hard to get there.
Yeah, no, it was not.
Wouldn't worry.
You guys feel good? You feel good? Did you get the right way?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Yeah.
smoked them. We marked
Yeah.
them to 75 each, dude.
Yeah, no, we were pretty good.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Did you not get in a car accident also?
Yep, got a car accident.
Yeah.
Lost your clothes?
Also
Experienced
closed.
my first amazing toilet. But
Yeah.
That's another day.
No, that's the best thing, and that's his favorite part of Japan
Yeah,
is the toilet. That
it is the bidet.
The bidet.
Yeah.
Shooting off into the ceiling.
The summit was heated.
Yeah.
The seat was heated.
Bet that took off during COVID too.
Yeah.
I actually,
It brought me
we
back
actually
to those days. Yeah,
actually just ordered one.
I thought of that. I'm like, man, it's the time to get one of those.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it
Kenny
was.
loves that. He talks about that all the
Sorry.
time.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
a
we're off
pretty
track again.
crazy trip
Yeah,
there.
talking
But
about-
that was
Talk about old
our
Eddie
team
Matheson
roping
now.
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you do the fraternities, is it calf roping or team roping?
I mainly just team rope nowadays.
But they
It's
do have
easier-
calf
it's
roping
easier on me.
fraternities too.
They do. They have some of those too.
And you're heading, heeling, or both?
Both. Yeah.
Which one do you like to do more?
Probably.
Depends on the horse, maybe. Or
Yeah. I mean, but I would say I deal more in head horses than anything. But I'll ride some heel horses. Goes with it. Miles Baker and we kind of started a little deal called Relentless Remuda, and he is great with the 2-year-olds, and we've just got kind of a program, and it's worked pretty good for us, not having to go buy
program
stuff.
of raising and training your
Mhm.
own.
It keeps us from having to buy horses that may have, before that, there was always, other disciplines that were done with their horses that didn't make the cut here, that were, obviously, when they don't make the cut, trainers will try, for their super hard for those owners to try to get them in there. And so that puts that extra level of pressure on those horses. So a lot of them come with a lot of baggage.
What's the goal for this? Is it to raise and sell horses, or just to show them and win?
Don't tell anybody this, but I'm gonna raise them and train them, whether anybody comes and buys them or not.
keep
But when they age out at 6,
You're gonna sell them.
I don't have any use for them, other than unless my wife or my son wants to take that one and do whatever. But
Because futurity stuff ends at, you're done with
4 to
that
6.
of 6 years old.
Mm-hmm. For
So when
us,
they're 7, when they turn 7, you're done
Yep.
with them.
and then
Which is the right age for most people that want to row.
it's
I mean,
it really is. It's set up, and I think that's why the growth is there now. Events I've seen 50 or 60% growth this whole year in different events that we go to, and people are just figuring out that everybody says they're not making horses. Nobody makes horses. There's people making horses, and now there's a place to go find them, and now there's a place to kind of watch them exhibit those horses, and so it's gonna grow a lot over the next few years.
And you guys Show Me the Buckles,
Mm-hmm.
and a horse that I'm pretty familiar with, and we've rode some babies out of them. Mandy has shown some, and I think that horse is going to work great for you guys.
that horse was a wicked talented animal. He was very talented.
We're excited about him. I mean, I know he had some success in y'all's world, but after riding his offspring in ours, he's well suited for what we do, and he's just a sexy sucker too. I mean, that never hurts, especially. There's the only thing better than riding a good horse is riding a pretty good horse,
No doubt about it.
So.
I think he's going to work good for you guys, and we've talked about it before. I think one of the reasons the reining horse business is going so strong right now is because we're raising a breed of horse that can do so many things.
True.
I mean, their minds are good enough to be able to go to work every day and take it. They're not going to get stupid. They're not going to, they're going to score good in the box. They're going to just be good horses. And I think that's why we're seeing right now in our business, those reiners that aren't, maybe they're a little used up. Maybe they've been in the pen too many times. Maybe they're not quite good enough. They're still bringing 25 or 35,000.
It's crazy.
As ranch riders, trail horses.
Yeah.
You probably,
He's familiar with
When
that.
Yeah.
Was
There's
that part of your goal in buying that stud was to breed and raise some of your own too?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we're going to breed a very limited book of outside mares and raise our own.
Gotcha. That's cool. What about? We're getting to our time. What about? Have you ever done anything like dumb roping? Like, have you ever if you had a blooper reel? If we could find a blooper reel, what would you say would be like the number one thing on that list of bloopers? Keep in mind, I know a friend of yours.
There's all kinds of bloopers on me out there. When you do it, as long as I've done this sport, like you don't do a Wrangler photo shoot in your early 20s with highlights and lose your hat at the NFR.
Oh,
That's one thing you don't do because that stuff never runs out.
No, buddy.
Don't fall off. Don't fall off at the BFI. Just little tidbits I'd give my
A buddy of mine.
my future self.
don't fall
A
off.
buddy of mine, to remain nameless, just
Mhm.
told me a story how focused you were, and that you
Oh yeah, that happened.
were so focused.
That happened.
You want to tell it, or you?
No, I feel like we're gonna get a
We're gonna
very
get to
fresh
the same
version
place,
with
yeah.
you.
Well, you were so focused that you got your horse in the box and you nodded and you took off and you freaking roped that thing fast too.
Mm.
And you dialed it off and you turned back and your partner was not even in the box yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that
No
happened.
way.
The roping paid $50,000 too.
Oh no.
But what they don't tell you,
Do you get a rewrite or is that
No.
a broken barrier?
No.
You're done.
no, you're a dumbass. All right. But what they don't tell you is I'm going from this jackpot that he's speaking of that I went without my partner. And it takes two to tango in that sport too. And we were up at the Fort Worth that night, the stock show. And so we're high team back. And guess who beat me in the box that night? My partner. I never had to worry about partners again. They worried about me.
So how does that happen? We need a little more detail.
I mean, it's just, I've said it. I mean, like, it was just dumb. There was like the roping was running late. We were up at one of the biggest winter rodeos in the short round. We were high team back. It was going to be touch and go getting there. Not. It would have been touch and go if I'd have waited on my partner, but this way we got there a lot faster. No, and like you just have. That's why you just have a lot of outside stuff always going through there, and you just. The team before me went, and like at this roping at the short round, there's a ton of people there. Like they line the walls there. So I'm trying not to make excuses for myself, but this is not just like at the roping fraternities now, when there's not that many fans there, you don't make this mistake. And you shouldn't make it where I did. But it happened.
And nobody there said, hey,
wait,
Trev,
whoa, yeah.
whoop. The guy running the gate, he never.
I mean,
Somebody could have.
Like
helped
he
you out
never
a little bit
ignored
there.
your nod, going, dude,
Dude, yeah.
dude, stop. No, he's like, watch this.
well, it's like Speed Williams. He comes to me and he goes, at the BFI, this is a completely different blooper. I foul roped a steer and I figurated a front leg and I'm fishing it out. And like, I'm so pissed too.
Yeah.
It's the first one of the biggest ropings and I've got an illegal catch and I'm fishing. And so I'm oblivious to the back end coming. And my horse stops, my foot slips out of the stirrup and I just go right there. And of course I go right out the back gate because I'm already there. And Speedy Williams, he comes and he goes, or his wife, said we had this reporter from somewhere sitting with us and we just got done telling him this is the best guy in our sport. And he fell off. And so nobody's immune to it.
That's fantastic.
I fall off all the time. I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
We
he
did
does.
the
yeah.
same horse one summer working for us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Your shoulder. Good. Still.
Yeah. No, but that's incredible because that's something I wouldn't even thought was possible. Like of all the things you could say
Yeah.
that went wrong, that's not one of them that
Yeah.
I would have come up with.
Yeah. No.
Like, and he probably did his part of the job real good.
And my horse was perfect.
His horse was good.
When you're back in there,
Of course he was.
look at your just give him a glance.
That's only in the movies.
In the movie.
That's only where you go.
Movie? Yeah, yeah.
I think that was in one of George's movies, but no, it's not. It's not. You just should really,
You don't do the look.
not have your head up your ass and know that nobody's over there.
Yeah, I thought maybe that was a thing when you backed up and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
yeah, let's go.
You ready, bro?
This
Yeah.
gonna be fat.
Yeah.
I can see him. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
You got to get a game face from them so you can give them a game
That's
face.
right,
Yeah.
If
No.
there's a moment where
Yeah.
you connect. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, activate the
Well,
mechanism.
he did say he didn't worry about his healers at all after that. So I guess
No.
you had a pregame speech
Yeah.
before that.
They were
said,
on notice from then on out.
You guys better get ready because when I'm
This
done,
guy's
I'm
crazy.
gone."
Like,
Yeah.
it takes two for most people, but this guy will leave your ass.
That's right. You need to
Yeah.
be ready,
Yeah.
Oz.
Because he obviously doesn't care.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he's
He
done
doesn't
it.
do the look. No, dude, he doesn't do the look. He doesn't even check.
So speaking, you brought up George straight. What about? I see that he's made some movies and he's roped a lot and stuff. He's been great, probably ambassador for the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Is he a pretty good roper?
He really is. Like, I think some people try to be country and country western. He wrote great. I did a Wrangler commercial with him, and he did all the roping and did really well. I'm sure you can go back and watch it. I mean, like, there's footage of him roping, and it's legit.
Yeah.
And always had good horses. I mean, he knew good horses. He always rode good horses.
Has both his thumbs.
Has both his thumbs. That was a heck of a risk if you think about it.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
His old
kidding.
guitar hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
That's how cowboy he was.
Oh, you
I don't
did.
know. I don't know if I'm cowboy enough.
I had to think that through.
Oh,
I should-
use
hey,
the
I can-
thumbs.
Yeah,
Do you use-
That's dangerous shit right here.
that was risky.
Yeah.
Could have blown his
I was
career.
thinking, I was listening, his thumb's gonna affect his voice. But yeah, the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they could probably make a little prosthetic with a, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He's
right.
George Strait.
Drop my
He'd
thumb.
be all right.
Yeah.
Drop my thumb.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he'd be
Jesus.
fine. He'd be fine. It's George Strait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Guys,
he'd be fine.
Yeah.
I bet you'd wait for George Strait if he was healing for you.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'd wait for the nod
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
would.
The wink.
That's right.
You would
I
wait
got
for
you.
the
I
one-
got you, George.
George.
I'm waiting on you, boss. Don't worry.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
All right, where are we at? Are we over? our
we're
time?
low over,
We're
but it
over.
was good.
Good.
time.
You can edit some of that.
Good time. Yeah.
Bloopers, please.
We're gonna leave it all in.
Yeah, we'll leave it in.
It's all
I'll leave it in.
Trevor, this was fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good
Thank
deal.
you for coming up.
Heck yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you like the mushrooms.
Yeah.
And I mean, regular like mushrooms.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't get any of those.
Yeah.
That's our next guest.
We're sober, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay? We're sober.
Anyway,
Yeah. Stuffed mushrooms. Yeah.
Awesome. Very good. Thanks everybody for watching again. And we'll have, if we can afford it, next time we get the money back together, we'll have Trevor back again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be able to afford him with all the likes and views we get off of
Yeah.
this. So.
This was significantly
What-
more expensive than the other ones.
Anyway, what do you say, Danny?
Go to the show.